Greetings. Today we're going to talk about how to implement a thermostatic switch on your Cerbo GX. And in this case, in simple language, we are using a relay and a temperature probe to turn on cooling fans for our electrical box. So let's get started. First things first, we are going to put our temperature probes for our temperature block into their holes. So you're going to put the black one on the left facing the back part of the Cerbo GX and the red one on the right. This temperature probe should be in your number 1 slot, but the other slots will probably work as well. Pro tip, you can use a paint pen to write a T on the front of this little block, and that way you'll know which side's front and back when you take it off and put it on as you go through the installation process of this temperature sensor and future temperature sensors. Note, if you cut the stock ferrules off the red and black conductors and put your own on, they may not fit as well, even if they're the same size. So it may just make sense to go ferrule free and stick your wires in the hole without protection. In this case, we've decided on our ferrules and we're plugging this terminal block in like a Lego chip, and we are good to go to our Cerbo GX and start our temperature probe configuration. Let's look at this through the console. So in your settings, you are going to go to the relay, and we're going to do the relay first. So we can see relay 1 is set for temperature, and you have the 6 options: alarm relay, generator, start stop, take pump, some other ones you can press pause and go back, but we want to have it on that temperature function. That's the important one to know, and that's going to be more clear when we get back to the hardware side. Okay, then we need temperature input 1 turned on, because that's the terminal block we used for this configuration, or the slot within the terminal block. It's the first one on the top. And now we're back into our relay, just checking our settings. So we have the temperature there. We can see our control rules for the electrical box, and the relay is going to activate on temperature. The condition is active. Relay 1 activation value is 81F, deactivation value is 83F. And then there's a condition 2, and we have it on none. If you have activation and deactivation values the same, it's just not going to work. But we don't need a condition 2, so we're just going to let those sleeping dogs lie. Okay, so just to look at again, activation values, that high temp. When it gets to that high temp, we want this relay to turn on, which is going to give power to our fans, or let the fans power flow. Okay, so now we're in our device list, and we can look at this temperature probe and check its setup. So the type is going to be battery. We have these different types. So if you were to choose water heater, for example, that's going to give you a bigger temperature range than within the graphical user interface than some of the other selections. Your numerical temperature output, though, will still be whatever the probe is reading. Okay, so now we got this going, and we can go to our overview, click on our levels, and see our electrical box temperature in this environmental tab. All right, back to the hardware world. Just to recap, all we've done is hook up this temperature probe to that temperature block, and now we're going to hook up our fans. So let's look at our wiring there. We have these 3 wire fans. They have a red, black, and yellow wire. We're only going to be using the red and black wire to send power to the fan. We're not going to be using that yellow wire. So using some Wagyu connectors, we are going to create a connection for our red wires and a connection for our black wires. These connections are going to go back to a DC panel where we will fuse at 3 amps, after which we will take that positive and negative black and red wire and run it through our relay that's going to be plugged into our Cerbo GX. Power comes in to the common port, which is on the middle hole on the relay terminal. Power is going to be the plus the red cable. Power is going to go out, normally open, which is the top hole in this terminal block. So it's coming into the middle hole from the DC fuse panel, and it's going out of the top hole from the terminal block. Clear as mud, right? Now let's look at the power source. So this is going to be fuse port 13, where we have that purple 3 amp fuse, and we can see that red conductor going in to the spot where it screws into the board there. And with our 3-hole Wagyu connectors, we can connect both fans and the circuitry for the relay in a clean working configuration for us. So hopefully that clears up a bit of the mud. Let's review the configuration on the physical screen one more time. So we're starting with the settings icon, which is the gear icon, bottom right. We're going to scroll down and we are going to click into I/O. And that is where we can go to analog inputs and verify that that temperature 1 toggle is on the right side with the blue color coding, which indicates that it's on, right? Okay, so you're going to need to turn that on if you're following this workflow. Okay, we back out 2 times and we go to a different spot in our menu. That spot is going to be the relay location. And this is where we're going to turn on relay 1. By default, it's going to be on this alarm relay. Potentially, we're going to change that. So you can see alarm relay, genset start stop, connected genset helper relay. We're going to put it on temperature, right? Keyword thermostatic. Easy words. Well, let's look at our temperature control rules. Okay, now we're getting our warnings, but we can see relay activation on temperature. So we want to turn that toggle to the right so we see the blue behind it. Condition 1, inactive, relay disabled. So let's update these activation values so they make sense. We want this to activate at a higher temperature. So when it gets hot, we want the fans to turn on. How hot? Well, in my case, I'm going to go with 81 degrees Fahrenheit. If you know what that is in Celsius, put it in the comments below. Okay, same thing for the low temperature setting. We don't need this box, an ice box, so we'll just go between 82 and 70 as, let's do 8272 for a deactivation value. So if it's at room temperature, these fans aren't going on. Okay, 74. Okay, 82. Just thinking my way through what the soundscape's going to be like within these temperature bands. So with that configuration, hopefully we don't have too much fan noise when the temperature is like at room temperature, which is 72. Okay. So now we got these warnings about temperatures being set at the same level, which means the condition will be ignored. And that's what's going on with that condition 2 value. It's disabled because those values are the same. We're just going to leave those though because we don't need a second condition here. And we will look at our relay. And right now we have no relays enabled. So we're going to click relay 1 and now relay 1 will be enabled. We can see test 1 is the name we got here. We're just going to click cancel there as we better understand condition 2, which we don't need, so we'll just back out of that menu. Okay, now we can go into our I/O menu, analog inputs, verify one more time that our temperature 1 is toggled on, accidentally toggle temperature 4 on, but we'll just toggle it on and off just to make sure it is being read as on. And now we can go to our device list and look at that test 1 status 68. That makes sense. Okay, battery scale 0.1, that makes sense. Everything's looking the way we want to look at it, except our type. Oh, this is close enough to a battery, so we'll keep it there. And now we can change the name from test to something else in this this menu. So we will call it electrical box, and looks like I'm trying to spell battery. When you have dyslexia, it's always a guessing game when you're not using correction software. So hopefully that's right. And we're just trying the best we can. Okay, electrical box. It's close enough for the Rocinante's needs. And none of these other spots we can click into. Okay. Looking good. So if you choose these other selections under the device type, that'll change the way it looks like on the GUI, and we'll see that in a second. So we go to levels, our overview, then we scroll right to levels environment. You can see high and low on the electrical box of 0 to like 140, but if you put it in, if you have like a hot water heater, for example, that'll go to like a little less than 200 degrees on its scale. So you see the scales are going to look different depending on what you got going on. And now we're just checking our temperature, and it's within a degree of another temperature probe that's not made by Victron. Always use Victron probes. And then document your configuration. We're doing that. So we got our 84, 76, which is actually 74 if I recall correctly. So my notes might not be perfect, but they're good enough for Space Cowboy work. Okay. There's our temperature probe. Right there, I got the metal piece touching this Orion Tri-Smart DC to DC charger, which it's right on the metal heat sink. And this component gets hot when the alternator is charging our batteries. And so I'm going with the component that gets the hottest in driving operation to turn on the fan. But it's also right next to the solar charge controller, which is going to be on every day that the sun's out. And that doesn't get as hot, but it does get hot enough to trigger this system. So it's a good mix. It's a good location for our temperature probe, which is going to activate our relay, which is going to activate our fans. So we'll do a little test here with a heat gun. We will heat up our probe and see if we get some action. We can see that temperature starting to climb, which is what we want. 72, 73, 75, 79, 80, 81. Okay, it should turn on. 82, 84, 86. All right. 88. It's climbing. See, there's a little latency in the system. And our fans are on. Pulls air. So we have the first fan that's pulling air into the box, and then the second fan is pulling air out of the box. So we want that circulation. You don't want to just put both fans pulling air out or both fans pulling air in. You want them structured in a way that they're moving air strategically across your components. And that's what we've done here. We can see that temperature's now up to 106, and our fans are spinning like we want them to. Boom, there we go. Okay, the temperature just hit 73 degrees and the fan's turned off. So this system is working like a charm. In any case, that is all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. We will see you around.